All right, let's talk about what's actually happening in the housing market right now, and more importantly, what it means for anyone buying or selling real estate here in Los Angeles. These days, discussing the real estate market really makes you feel like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. The national averages don't really represent what's happening in most parts of the country, and even city data doesn't represent what's happening in most neighborhoods. As we're heading into the final stretch of 2025, the national data is showing some interesting shifts. Inventory, for one, has finally started to increase. It's been painfully low for the past few years, but we've recently seen a slow but steady increase in the number of homes for sale across the country. But when we look closer at Los Angeles, things get a little bit more nuanced. Inventory here has improved, but it's still tight. We're seeing more options than we had during the peak of the shortage, but it's nowhere near a frenzied buyer's market. That said, if you're in the market to buy, it's better than it was a year or two ago. There's more to choose from, and in some pockets of LA, we're seeing homes sit longer on the market than they did 6 months ago. Today, I can take a buyer out and show them 10 homes in their price range, but the reality is they'll probably hate 9 of them. Because even with today's increased inventory, the biggest obstacle to a buyer finding a home to buy is the availability of good inventory. There is a lot of funky houses out there for sale. Logan Mohtashami, an economist I really respect, says, on the pricing side, this is where a lot of people get surprised. Even with higher mortgage rates, prices haven't dropped the way many expected. In fact, in some neighborhoods, prices are still holding firm and even inching up. Now, I think that's true for the year-to-date data as a whole. But I can tell you with boots on the ground certainty that here locally, if a homeowner had their house on the market in March, April, or May, they had a better experience than homeowners who put their home on the market in June, July, or August. Which, if you look at the data, makes 0 sense, because we were at 7% mortgage rates on May 22nd, and they began trailing down for the last 3 months and are currently sitting at 10-month lows. So why did the market cool off in mid-June when rates started coming down? Well, the summer slowdown was real. Summer always sees buyers more interested in vacation plans than real estate plans. And locally, our conversations with buyers showed big concerns over tariffs, ICE raids, potential unemployment, and a continued slowdown in the entertainment industry, all weighing very heavily on many buyers' minds. Logan Mohtashami also was surprised at the quick decline of new listings for the month of August so far. He seems to think that the slowdown in new listings that usually takes place in late September and October has come early. Now, I think it's more of a temporary pause by home sellers because agents and their clients decided to wait out the end of summer slowdown and launch their home in the fall. A few weeks ago, Redfin announced that they saw an increase in listings being removed from the market. Sellers were taking them off the market in July and early August. Now, I predict that we're going to see a major increase in new listings in the weeks following the Labor Day holiday. Other data from my lender friends shows that a dramatic increase in buyers getting pre-approved over these last few weeks. So I think we're going to have an increased amount of buyers to buy that increased amount of inventory that's coming. Now, what about interest rates? Next month, the Fed is going to meet again, and they will probably lower the Fed funds rate. But don't expect to see a big drop in mortgage rates from that. Banks have pretty much already priced that into their current mortgage rates. But the headlines will be good for buyer confidence. And the Fed does not need to lower their Fed funds rate for mortgage rates to come down. There are other levers and influences involved. So what does this mean if you're thinking about buying or selling in Los Angeles? If you're a seller and you've got a move coming up, maybe a relocation, upsizing, downsizing, there's still a window to list and get strong offers. especially if your home is priced well and shows well. Buyers are out there, but they're selective. Presentation and pricing are everything right now. If you're a buyer, this market is all about timing and preparation. As soon as rates drop, competition can ramp up quickly. That means being ready with your financing dialed in and a clear understanding of what neighborhoods make the most sense for your goals. You may want to do this before rates get to 6.5%. And if you're just trying to make sense of all the headlines and figure out what applies to Los Angeles and what doesn't, that's where local context matters. National data gives us the big picture, but real estate is hyper-local. Knowing what's happening on the ground, in the city, in the market you're in is the key to making really smart decisions. That's what I track every single week, so I can bring my clients the most relevant, up-to-date insights. If you're thinking about making a move or just want to know where things are headed to next, I'm always happy to talk strategy.